Welcome back. I know that 10-minute philosophy was quite intense, but like I stated before, as Reverend Dr. Julius of Ancient Religious Studies, the philosophy thereof, the 30 years of study under my graduate degree. Last 10-minute philosophy, Philosophy 5, is very near and dear to my eternal flame within, as some will call it, your heart. You understand? Up top. We're going to go into the why. Why did they do this? Here's the why. Why did they why did they take a technology, an ancient technology, and build a country based off an ancient technology? And they didn't really fully understand or recognize its power. You see. But once they realized the power thereof in this and that and the third, we can't ever let this kind of ancient technology and power get back into the hand of the ethnic group that it surely belonged to. You see, things have a way of shifting and going back from whence it came. This is what energy and power does, and they should know better. I want to say on the record that these things that are going on with the sources of energy, as far as scientifically, you know, CERN, you've taken an energy and now you're also doing other things with it in this laboratory. And you're only telling us so much of what you're doing. But what are you trying to do? Okay. The thing about the ancient technology and the sacred texts, if you were really intelligent of what they were trying to convey and tell you, was to not destroy yourself. This is where we are now. Okay. You've taken the power, abused it. Okay. And then you've abused it in such a way not to free the people and to be independent, like you said that we were, to give a false sense of that, okay, in a dependence upon a government that we should be free, as it should say, instead of dependent, we should be independent. There's no reason why, with this kind of technology, and then the sheer intelligence of individuals and their own individual superpowers, that we should, any one of us should be suffering or be past the need of sustenance. We should be plentiful, bountiful. But this is when the obsession of power and the lack of discipline and the need for control. Everybody's trying to control. No, we need to discipline. This is how the pyramids were built, with sheer discipline altogether. How do you think they were able to harness the sound and the energy together? It's called harmony. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Why are they doing this? Taking an ancient technology and selling it back to the ancient group that it belongs to. This in itself should be criminal when the truth is written all over the wall throughout Egypt. You know, weather, wind, erosion, migration, people moving in, the wars, invading it, and this and that, anything to be able to have control. See, this is a sickness. And in order to heal the world, we're going to have to do another thing. And I'm going to say that for the next philosophy, which is very important. And that's where the healing is going to have to start. And we've got to go through this pain, okay, first, of being allowed to be manipulated in such a way that we have been for so long. Ancient needs this 4 or 5 thousand years and being manipulated and lied to. Slavery, the things, I don't like to stay in that part, but we're going to acknowledge it. Abused and beaten. When you have your people being treated like this, and children and seeds are created, this thing carries on. There are certain seeds that are going to need to be planted. Okay, but the same thing that went on can't be done again. This same greed from this ancient technology. You feel me? If we got things freely and we had to get out there and work hard and work the land and tend to, the solar power, the things to keep things together and in order. How do you think they were able to build such mighty civilizations? Because they all had a job to do and they didn't have to want or need other than to upkeep the things that were already freely theirs: food, shelter, energy, and guess what? Love was still free too. You see? You know, and this greed from this power that has been abused has turned into another form of power, which is capitalism. That has pushed the narrative of things that, yes, we want things, but do we really need these things? And the things, and we're all guilty of the same thing, wanting too much of this, this gluttony. And, take what you need as necessary and go on for your children and this and that third. No, we wanted more than that. You see, and being raised by our forefathers and being stripped of our culture and our technology and the things that we'll talk about as to how that also occurred. How did this all come about? You see, in the first place, besides disease and plague, there were other things that were also at play as well. We'll get into that in other philosophies as well. This capitalism of harnessing this ancient technology and then turning around and taxing your free, independent people on something, the ethnic part of the people. You understand? That's anyone in America that is not of a British descent. Okay? This is rightfully theirs. They should not have to pay for electricity. It should be free because it was free in Rosetta, Egypt, 1,000 years ago. This construct is of a primitive nature, and there's no greater civilization of higher intelligence that can become of America if these things that are in place stay in place. It will be a primitive society with the lack of intelligence and with the greed of keeping these things kept, that you have to understand something. Something that's spiritually and sacred within you shall be reborn again because it was there. In the same way that it came to them is how it will return to them. You see, and this will be of a higher source than what man, and within his greed and his lack of discipline and his need for control and power, can stop. And that's where we're at. You understand? That's where we're at. And in this insert, and we're going to get into the next philosophy of the next steps that we need to take in this trying time of process. The damage has been done, but there is a way for us to all still thrive and move forward and still survive even in these grim times of change. These are all my philosophies because they're all going to tell a story of where we're going and where we're headed and what we should do as a society on a humanitarian level. Thank you. I'm Reverend Dr. J. I'll see you soon. Peace.